Hi friends, this is Bandi Nagarjuna. You are watching NGN Study Circle. Today we are going to discuss about social studies topics related to CTET and TET. Let us start the first question. Lagbaksh was the title of Kutubuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Alauddin Khilji, Firoz Shah. Among these Delhi Sultans, Kutubuddin Aibak was known as Lagbaksh. Kutubuddin Aibak was known as Lagbaksh due to his liberal donations. Muslim writers called him as Lagbaksh. Lagbaksh was the title given to Kutubuddin Aibak. He was slave of Muhammad Ghori actually. Ghori made him the governor of Indian Prussians. Kutubuddin Aibak set up headquarters near Delhi and captured the northern India. So, Lagbaksh was the title given to the Kutubuddin Aibak. Let us continue the second question. Treaty of Mangalore ended first Anglo-Mysore War, second Anglo-Mysore War, third Anglo-Mysore War, fourth Anglo-Mysore War. Among these, Second Anglo-Mysore War was ended with the Treaty of Mangalore. Yes, the Treaty of Mangalore ended Second Anglo-Mysore War, which was made in 1784 between British East India Company and Tipu Sultan. Treaty of Mangalore was made between it is an agreement between British East India Company and Tipu Sultan in the year 1784. We all know that Tipu Sultan was a ruler of Mysore Kingdom. Let us go to the next question. Susan B. Anthony was a leader of the movement to guarantee former slaves the right to vote, guaranteed women the right to vote in national elections, ensure that the harsher laws against criminals, reduce the authority of the Constitution of United States. Susan B. Anthony was a leader of the movement to guaranteed women the right to vote in national elections. Yes. So Susan B. Anthony was the leader of a suffrage movement. He advocated for women voting right in elections. Yes, let us go to the next question. The first woman president of UN General Assembly, Sarojini Naidu, Annie Besant, Vijayalakshmi Pandit, Subbalakshmi. Obviously, Vijayalakshmi Pandit was the first woman president of UN General Assembly, and she is the sister of our first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, so Vijayalakshmi Pandit became the first woman president of UN General Assembly in the year 1953. And let us discuss the current matter. At present, the president of UN General Assembly is Tijjani Muhammad Bande. Who belongs to Nigeria. Let us go to the next question. The Kailasa temple at Ellora was built by Krishna 1, Govinda 2, Dhruva, Krishna 3. Among these, Krishna 1 is the correct answer. We should know about this ruler. Actually, Krishna 1 was a Rashtrakuta king. He ruled in the 8th century, and we should know that he was an uncle of Dantidurga. Krishna 1 was an uncle of Dantidurga. We all know that in our textbook we learned that Dantidurga was a famous Rashtrakuta king who performed the rituals like Hiranyagarbha. So Krishna 1 was a Rashtrakuta king of 8th century. He built the Kailasa temple. The Kailasa temple, actually cave 16, is one of the 32 temples and monasteries known as Ellora caves. So Kailasa temple at Ellora was built by Krishnavan. He was a Rashtrakuta king of 8th century. Let us go to the next question. Battle of Panipat was fought between Battle of Panipat was fought between Babur and Sher Shah, Babur and Rana Pratap, Akbar and Hemu, Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. Among this, Battle of Panipat was fought between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. Actually, here the question given little bit mistake, that first Battle of Panipat. First Battle of Panipat. First Battle of Panipat was fought between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi in the year 1526 CE. 1526 CE. Okay. Panipat presently in Haryana state, and with this first Battle of Panipat, Babur established Mughal Empire in India. Okay. Next, the Ministry of Minority Affairs. The Ministry of Minority Affairs was formed separately from Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. On which date? The Ministry of Minority Affairs was formed separately from Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment on January 26, 2017, August 15, 2017, January 26, 2016, August 15, 2016. Among this, the correct answer is January 26, 2017. Yes, January 26, 2017. So, the Ministry of Minority Affairs was separately formed from that previous ministry. It was set up in 2017 to provide solutions to various issues of the minority communities in India. Yes, the communities notified by this ministry as minorities are in India: Muslims, Christians, Buddhist, Sikh, Parsi and Jain. Okay, let us go to the next question. Which act of the Indian government was an act of the British Parliament that sought to increase the participation of Indians in the administration of their country? Yes, obviously it is 1919. 1919, here options are given: 1919, 1925, 1920 and 1922. Okay, question I am repeating again. Which act of the Indian government was an act of the British government that sought to increase the participation of Indians in the administration of their country? So among this, yes, obviously 1919 Act. Okay, this 1919 Act representing to end the despotism and begin a responsible government in India, with the main provisions are executive, legislative body and central government. Okay. Next, which article was added to the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976 to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard forest and wildlife in India? Repeating the question again. Which article was added to the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976 to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard forests and wildlife in India? Article 45, Article 49, Article 48A, Article 43A. So the answer is 48A, I think. Yes, Article 48A was added to the Constitution of India with the amendment of 42nd, okay, in the year 1976. So 42nd Amendment Act was made in 1976 to protect and improve the environment and safeguard the forest and wildlife in India. Such type of amendments periodically added to the Constitution of India. So general discussion here. Amendment. What is amendment? Amendment is the process of making changes to a nation's laws. Okay, amendment is used as changes in some laws. Okay, actually, till date, in our Indian Constitution, there are 104 amendments made in the Parliament. Till date, 104 amendments are made in the Parliament to our Indian Constitution, and there was a lot of difference. We may have a confusion also. Amendment bill is different, act is different. Here in the question it is clearly mentioned that the 42nd Amendment Act, which is related to Article 48A to safeguard the environment and such kind of. Okay, Amendment Act is different, Amendment Bill is different. Generally, if we say bill is a proposed law, it is to be debated, it is to be voted, it is to be passed in the Parliament of both sections, and later it is enacted. So bill is a proposed law, but act, what we are discussing, act, it is the law that is written in the Constitution. It is a law that is written in the Constitution, so compulsory we have to follow it. So bill is a proposed law and act is a written law. Written law has to be followed compulsory, and a proposed law it may be rejected many times. So amendment bills we may have more number, but up to till date there are 104 amendment acts that are made in the Indian Constitution. Right, let us go to the next question. Conducting surveys, field data collection, monitoring the 20-point program, etc. are the functions of which Indian ministry? Conducting surveys, field data collections, and monitoring 20-point program, etc. are the functions of which Indian ministry? Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pension, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Here Ministry of Starts and Program Implementation, I think so. Yes, obviously Ministry of Starts and Program Implementation are conducting surveys, field data collection, monitoring the 20-point program, etc. are the functions of this ministry. Yes, actually if we discuss this matter, there are several committees constitute the Parliament. Some of them are standing committees, and remaining are ad hoc committees. What is the difference between standing committees and ad hoc committees of Parliament? Standing committees are permanent committees. Standing committees are permanent committees in the Parliament. Ad hoc committees are temporary, means appointed for a specific purpose. And they have to exist when they finish their task. Yes, that's all for today. Thanks for watching.